smallpox in the 18th
or
century,
become
a horse-faced
or
monster.
death.
But in the countryside, there is an almost infinite saying.
A
milkmaid blessed with mild cowpox
Seems to be related to smallpox.
some kind of mysterious reconciliation.
Although the
agreement.
hands are
often covered with cowpox,
but the face is
pustules.
as clean as ever.
The country doctor Edward Jenner heard of the oracle, a crazy and poisonous thought ignited in his heart. Can we take the initiative with little devil
Sign
cowpox
a contract.
in exchange for the right to resist the great demon
In
king 1796? James put this idea into practice. Emerged from a female worker's cowpox
Scratched
pustules. Some pus. It was then inserted into the body of an 8-year-old boy. This seemed at the time. It's like injecting a curse into a pure soul. The boy has a fever, but it healed quickly. The real test comes in 6 weeks. Jenna inoculated the boy with real smallpox.
Humane.
This is outright murder. But fortunately, the boy is safe. The smallpox
sound.
virus had no effect on Jenna's witchcraft worked. But it was followed by a huge storm of public opinion. The Royal Society rejected his paper. Opponents caricatured him as a demon. People vaccinated with cowpox
Horns
in the and hooves grow on the body. But Jenner didn't hold back. He self-published his research and built a bull temple in his backyard. He used the word vaccine from the Latin word crowning this technology. In 1980, smallpox, the plague god that has ravaged humanity for thousands of years, however,
has been
completely
Jenna doesn't
know
know
why the contract is valid. She just bravely pushed open a door. The world behind the door is still dark. 80 years later, two masters with very different personalities
the door.
the world
and
sparked a debate about exactly how immunization
The controversy
of the century. One was the French chemist Louis Pasteur. Summer of 1879, Pasteur's assistant before the holidays forgot to inject chickens with fresh collar. The petri dishes sat on the bench all summer. Wait until when you experiment with these expired bacteria, strange things happen. The chicken was cured with only a mild
when you
illness.
come
into contact with fresh he was no longer sick. Pasteur realized that bacteria exposed to the air weaken, but still retains some protection. Therefore, he made the first one. Attenuated vaccines obtained through artificial domestication. Pasteur at Plilberg, 1881, conducted a public experiment. He gave 25 of the 50 received an attenuated anthrax vaccine, fed all sheep to the deadly bacillus anthrax. It turned out, as he expected, all unvaccinated sheep died. The sheep were unharmed. Pasteur proved to the world we can create artificial sparring to train that internal force called immunity. But what really made Pasteur famous in history? It was that evening in 1885. 9-year-old Joseph Meister was severely bitten by a mad rabies strike. There is no cure. He's not a doctor. No medical license. But in the end, he decided to take a gamble. The next 10 days, he did it 13 times in a row. The boy. Attenuated rabies vaccine extracted from rabbit spinal cord. Although it had been about 60 hours since the boy was bitten, treated him, and he recovered. He even became the gatekeeper of the Pasteur Institute. Same period. At the other end of the microscope, an eccentric Russian. We are observing an even more bizarre phenomenon. Legend has it that on Christmas Eve, Russian biologist Mechnikov, I conducted a small experiment in my garden. He put a rose into the transparent starfish larvae, and the next day, he finds cells wandering around like angry guards swarm, trying to devour it. He realized there must be a type of phagocyte in chickens, eating harmful invaders such as bacteria. Therefore, the First World War in immunology broke out. The humorists, led by German scientists, the army relies on chemical weapons in the blood, and Mechnikov's cell faction. All the glory for those hand-to-hand ground troops. The debate was intense. German scientists ridiculed Mechnikov's protocells that eat the cells. At an academic Mechnikov is talking to the Confucians. Fire in the eyes. End this debate. The Nobel Prize was awarded to both life and Mechnikov and Ehrlich. the representatives of the bottle. The answer is self-explanatory. It has a sophisticated chemical arsenal. Also has a heroic ground commando team. If you tell the previous story, it's all about how we identify and destroy our 20th century. It's an even more chilling puzzle. When the enemy is ourselves, what will happen? Arlic, the pioneer of immunology. There must be some mechanism in living preventing the immune system from killing each other. But reality is much crueler than theory. Encountered more and more unexplained healthy children suddenly lose access to walking in extreme emaciation. Eerie butterfly-like red spots on young woman's face. Systemic organ failure. In these patients, no bacteria or viruses were found. Until the middle of the 20th, scientists have discovered in the blood of these patients there are antibodies against our own tissues. The immune system treats its own cells as invaders. Start a never-ending civil war without enemies. Systemic lupus erythematosus. This is the ultimate betrayal. The immune system attacks the nucleus. Drag the entire kingdom into a sea of fire. In patients with type 1 diabetes, they will turn insulin-producing cells as a traitor who must be eradicated. Shoot to kill. And that's where we get to the truly disturbing truth. The immune system's top priority may not be defense. We define ourselves. He uses a violent identification mechanism. In the chaotic material world, forcibly draw a line between me and not me. And the act of transformation, it was doomed to his paranoia and tragedy. Allergies and autoimmune diseases is the definition of violence. A logical extension of necessity. Illustrates the fundamental paradox of who we are as living borders because we're vulnerable, but they are tortured by this border. It's almost inevitably projected outward by us. Founded country. Weather. It's just one part of our internal immune system. Social replication. We use them to defend against external pathogens, to demarcate our borders with them, but also because of trapped in war, prejudice, and the autoimmune diseases of civilization. So the deepest question. We are shaped by countless inner wars. Fragile self. How exactly? Living with a world full of non-self. When the guardian and the destroyer are one, how can we define true health and peace? In addition to teaching us to fight disease, the heaviest echoes for the 21st century.